So I grew up in a small town in South Georgia. I was raised by a single mother in a very poor household. As I grew up, high school was a breeze, but I really didn't know what I wanted to do after high school. So I immediately started working at Family Dollar as a cashier. While working at Family Dollar, guys would always try to come in and holler at me because I had a really nice shape. They would always tell me how beautiful I was and would be constantly giving me compliments and offering to take me out. Some guys I went out with, but eventually I realized that my hopes and dreams would never come true in this small town. So I decided to move to where? That's right, guys. I decided to move to Atlanta. I quickly realized in Atlanta that it was a fast paced life, totally opposite from where I grew up at in that small town in South Georgia. I tried little small jobs, but I was struggling to pay bills, and I had a roommate at the time, and I was always coming short on my half of the rent. So eventually, one of her friends told me that I should start working at a booty club because I had a nice body, and I figured, hey, why not? That's where all the rappers were at. So I decided to start dancing at Magic City. This was around 2011. There were tons of guys who would come to see me, and I would work there a few nights out of the week and try to relax most of the other days. And I would go out and party with different guys and just take in all of the Atlanta lifestyle. Till eventually, this one guy, he kept coming in to see me every Friday, and he kept telling me how he would take me away from everything and he would take care of me and I didn't have to do anything. But he was a little bit older than me, and I wasn't really into older guys. I was more into the young YNs that were around the way that would show me a good time. And I felt that it would be kind of weird to be with such an old guy, but what he was offering, I couldn't turn down. So eventually he convinced me to quit stripping, and I decided to move in with him in his condo. He was a truck driver, so he had his own business. So a lot of times he was gone driving over the road, and I was left home alone. A lot of times I was bored, and we were together for about 5 years before I actually got pregnant and had our first child. During this time, things were good. He was still on the road, and I was still bored, even though I had a son to raise now. So 3 years passed again, and I was pregnant again and had another son. Here it is, 2020, and I have a 3-year-old and a newborn, and I'm not knowing what I'm going to do with my life. I'm like, how could I be with such an older guy? I felt like things were good when I was stripping, and I felt like he kind of took my youth away. And here I am as what you might as well call a single mom, because he's always gone and I'm here taking care of these kids. So we would sometimes argue, but then whenever we got into arguments, he would just get in his truck and just go. So that was kind of like how I led my life for many years, till eventually things just kept getting out of hand, and it would be several days and we wouldn't talk to each other. He would just come in, sometimes on the weekend, sit back, watch the game, have a few beers, hang out with his friends, and just go. And that became routine for me. Till one day, my husband came home in a worrying state. He asked to talk. This is when he explains to me, I have a mistress and she is pregnant. She's threatening to tell you everything if I don't send her to Europe. I'd rather you learn it from me than her. Baby, please forgive me. I looked at him crazily. And my problem is that I don't know how to tell my husband that his mistress is actually a liar. How do I know? I know 100% she's lying because my husband is infertile, but he doesn't know it himself. If I tell him the truth about his mistress, he will know on the same occasion that our 2 children are not his. And I know the plot thickens here, and you guys are like, how is that possible? Well, guys, back when I was in the booty club at Magic City, I met several guys that I would deal with, but there was one guy that completely stole my heart, and we were fooling around throughout the years. Over those 5 years, me and my husband never used birth control, but eventually this guy came back in my life. Me and my husband, we never used birth control. So I remember once back in 2016, This gentleman from Magic City, he came back in my life. I saw him at the store and we began fooling around. And eventually I got pregnant. Now, up until this point, me and my husband never used birth control or anything. He would always shoot the club up and nothing ever happened. So with this time, what was happening with this guy, I got pregnant. So my husband thought it was his kid this whole time, and 2 years went by and me and the guy was still messing around, and I got pregnant again. So I actually have 2 sons by this guy, and he knows that these are his kids, and my husband doesn't know. So he's infertile. He can't have kids, but he doesn't know that. So what do you guys think I should do in this situation? Should I tell him, or what do you think would happen? Let me know what you guys think. So baby, that's quite a doozy of a story if I do say so myself. You got 2 kids by this one guy that you met at the strip club, and you know that he's the father. The kids look like him. My thing is, how do you really know that your husband is infertile and he can't have kids? Just because he couldn't have kids with you doesn't mean he can't have kids with another woman. I know you say he was shooting the club up and you guys weren't using any type of birth control, any form of birth control, but hey, it's still possible. But baby, you tell that man, you might end up, that might be your last thing you tell anybody. Because this man's been raising these kids for what, the past 8 years? Even if he does got a chick on the side, some dudes be like, I've been taking care of you and you've been fooling me all this time dealing with another dude. Oh no, baby, you got to leave this earth. And that's how some dudes look at it. And she's up there like, bruh, fellas, you got to be more careful. Now we know like how there's paternity fraud going on and it's running rampant in the United States, and you have a, what is it, 30% of the time that you are the father. So there's a 66% chance that you're not the father. Like, and that's just in the United States. So man, bro, and some dudes don't bother. They're that smitten. They just need a woman home and they don't care the whole time. She messing with this dude from the booty club just like she found you. Man, listen, this is nasty work. Don't judge her, JR. Don't judge her. What do you guys think, man? I'm gonna let you guys judge. Comment below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Much blessings and abundance. Stick around for the next videos. It's gonna pop up on the screen below. That's where I'm gonna see you guys at. It's your favorite everything. This is Wisdom. I'm the best. Let's run it up to 1 million. Quit playing with me. Peace.